Thank you so much. A lot of the things that yeah. Many of the things that I would have liked to say have been mentioned by the previous speakers, and I will not repeat. But I also want to thank you very much, the President Prodi and the Foundation for Worldwide Cooperation for inviting us, as well as the President of the Pontific Academy of Science for including us in this very important discussion. We are a very interested stakeholder because of the people who are not connected. The majority of them are women. Of the people who are connected, women are 30% less of those that are connected. So either way, we have an interest in this subject. We also see that the world is changing and is changing very fast, but the institutions through which we work are not changing fast enough. In fact, the bad guys are adapting much faster than the good guys, so to say. So when Jeff makes the point about public service, it is about ensuring that public institutions such as this one, also get ahead of the curve in order to serve the majority of the people who should be benefiting much better from the era of digitalization. We have seen that in education, in health, in economic well-being, technology plays a significant role. This is what makes the internet a public good that needs to be made accessible to all people without any barrier. The situation right now is that our public policy discourse does not make access to connectivity and the internet proper. It is also not a gender equality equalizer. And being able to make it more accessible, ensuring that we have a deliberate aim to address all kinds of injustices through the internet would mean that we could create a significantly transformed public service that wants to work in the 21st century in the manner in which delivers services. In fact, my own interest in this subject came as a result of being in a public service where I felt that as the politicians, we had no clue about the importance of the digital revolution. And sometimes when public servants, who are technocrats, came to present projects to us, we were either wowed because that looked so exciting, but we didn't fully understand it, or we blocked it because we felt it was too much money and we were afraid if something went wrong. Either way, it was a problem. I felt that there's a need for responsible policy making for us as policymakers to know a bit more about the subject. And I feel that while there's more policymakers and we see them in different gatherings who understand and are grappling with the issues, we have not reached the tipping point. So there is something that is to be done in investing in the buy-in of policymakers so that they can become allies of facilitating the changes that we're talking about. For us, the fact that a 250 million fewer women than men are connected makes this partnership to be important. The fact that 200 million fewer women than men own a mobile phone in low-income and middle-income countries, and the fact that in sub-Saharan Africa, women are almost as likely as men to be online creates an opportunity and an incentive for us to make this work. We also have seen statistics from Intel in 2012, which estimated that giving women access to the internet could contribute between 13 to 18 billion to annual GDP across 144 developing countries. That's a lot of opportunity not to want to pursue. And the impact of that opportunity would mean less violence against women because more women who are economically empowered will take themselves out of harm's way. It means less infection of HIV/AIDS for young girls. It means more women would be able to survive death while giving birth, because they would be able to choose and to have access to better health services. So, and these are all issues in the realm of rights that we may not always immediately connect with the access to the internet, but the access to the internet facilitates the possibility for all of these needs of women and girls to be met. Last year, in our Commission of the Status of Women, which meets every year, the biggest forum where women of the world, government and civil society come together, the theme last year was women and the place of work. When we evaluated the number of countries that had specific policies that were directed at facilitating the benefits of the digital development towards women, we were only able to identify about 20% of all member states who had a direct interest in that. So again, that creates unevenness, that exacerbates inequality that is gender-based. For that reason, therefore, we have an interest in ensuring that we address this. The projections that 90% of the jobs by 2020 would require a form of relatively sophisticated digital literacy means that to prepare women adequately for the future and even present world of work, we again need to ensure that we're able to invest in access to the internet. If you look at young people in the countries that are developing, Africa, Asia, again, the education systems are not adequately preparing young people for the future that we're talking about. And the utilization of the resources that are meant for development doesn't always identify internet access and connectivity as a key input into fighting poverty. And we need to get a vocabulary in public policy discourse that says that internet is important to end poverty. It's not a nice thing to have. I find that in many times when I engage with my colleagues who are ministers, this is something that we can give to community after we've given water, sanitation, etc., not as one of the core services that we need to deliver in order to address the issue of poverty. So I guess my point is that women would be significantly served if we were able to position the whole discourse of internet access at the same level as the need for basic services that addresses extreme poverty, that addresses the difficulties of access to health services, and that addresses the need for quality education for both girls and boys in the most remote part of the world, as well as investment in teacher training. The UN has recently adopted a resolution that says that online freedom is a human right. This is the Human Rights Council Resolution /32/L.20, if I have to put it like that. So there is something that we can build on and work on, and as Jeff has said, the Sustainable Development Goals across all the goals provide us with many entry points for us to use, but we should not only rely on the Sustainable Development Goals and the UN. We need broader civil society buy-in in order for us to be able to reach the broader society that will become strong advocates and supports the initiative that we are about. UN Women, I have to say, and I think many UN agencies would have a direct interest in the success of this initiative. Thank you.
Right.